If I had to do this all over again, I was still going to choose to be homeless. I got the freedom to be anywhere I want, when I want.
Hey besties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to this beautiful channel. So in today's video, we are talking about this topic that's been getting a lot of attention. Why some people are choosing to be homeless. Now, before you jump into conclusion, it's important to know that not all homelessness is by choice. Many are forced into it due to circumstances beyond their control. But there's a growing conversation about those voluntarily step away from traditional living. So we're going to explore this one.
If I had to do this all over again, I was still going to choose to be homeless. I got the freedom to be anywhere I want, when I want. I live for free. I still got all the necessities of life. A shower, a toilet, food, a stove, fridge. I can spend my money on whatever I want. Wake up with the freedom of knowing that my money is going to what I want it to, not what it has to be going to. A lot of people don't realize that they stress in life because they make things more complicated than they are. When you learn to look at things for what they are instead of what you want them to be, you learn how to navigate. I picked my main things that made me happy and what I needed, and that's where I'm at. Happiness.
About 6 months ago, I made a TikTok video that completely blew up all over the internet about how homelessness is a choice. And I want to talk about it because that shit changed my fucking life in so many ways. And first of all, people ask me all the time, do you still think homelessness is a choice? Yes, because everything in your life is a choice. There's not something that wouldn't be a choice and something that is a choice. It's all a choice. You chose all of it. You are everything. You're creating your whole experience. Moving on, I want to talk about the effect that had on me emotionally, okay? My intuition had me make that video. And when I was first getting started on TikTok and I was making all kinds of content, like my intuition was showing me things to say, things to talk about. And I had this experience and I had this revelation of, oh my God, even something like homelessness, you're not a victim to. You are choosing that. And it was like, I have to share this with people. This is fucking groundbreaking to me. So my intuition's like, yes, share it. I shared it. The backlash and all the hate was fucking fuel, dude. And I was gonna get it coming to me one way or another, whether it was that video, whether it was something else. But you know what it did for me? The biggest thing is it made me emotionally fucking bulletproof. Nobody can say shit to me now on this app. Nobody can say shit to me in general because I've heard it all. I've heard it all. When you get somebody hating on you on the internet and that shit spreads like wildfire, it is an opportunity for you to completely say, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I am just gonna be me. And it broke so many limitations for me because it was like, you know what? Any part of me that was sitting there on the internet being like, well, I probably shouldn't say this because, you know, I don't want to offend people. I'm like, I've already offended everybody. Fuck it. You know what? I'm not gonna limit my speech. I'm gonna be who the fuck I want. And the only way that I'm able to actually help as many people as I do is because I am like this. Because I had that experience, because I let it not be an issue. I saw that, you know what? No matter what the fuck you do, if you're making waves in this world, you're gonna piss some people off. You're gonna have some controversial opinions. And that's just part of the fucking game, baby. I would do it 10 times over. If you really want to help people or you really want to make waves in this world and have an impact, you have to be willing to say the shit that other people are not willing to say. You have to be willing to stand out. You have to be willing to be ridiculed. You have to be willing to put your shit out there and have everybody smell it. You have to be willing to say the things that people don't want to hear, but that they need to hear and make them feel some type of way because feelings create everything.
Why do people choose to be homeless? Why do people choose to live in encampments? We're going to talk a bit about it. I want to do so by introducing you to a concept called building season. It's building season right now. What building season is the time of year when it's consistently warm enough for folks who are experiencing homelessness to begin constructing their encampments. What's interesting about building season now is that it usually coincided with spring, and spring meant there were leaves on the trees, foliage, and that meant camouflage. The majority of encampments you would never see. But now, with climate change, winters are shorter, and it gets warmer sooner, and that warmth isn't coinciding with spring. So we're gonna have 4 to 6 weeks of additional building season at a time in which there are no leaves on the trees. So you're gonna see more encampments. I promise you, you're gonna see more. Now, why would people choose to build an encampment? And usually folks fall into two categories. And both categories usually come from a place of passion, one negative, one positive, but they both fundamentally misunderstand homelessness. So let's talk about it. The first side is they're choosing an encampment because they're unaware of the resources available to them. And that is total bullshit. If you think that, you absolutely underestimate the folks who are experiencing homelessness in your area. They absolutely understand how the system works. So let's put it like this. If you became homeless right now, your first instinct wouldn't be, well, I'm going to go live in the woods now. I'm going to go buy a tent, or I better go, scrounge around for some materials to have cover from the wind and rain. No, you would think, all right, I got to figure out how to problem solve my way out of this. Maybe I can stay on someone's couch. How can I earn more money? Although you're going to problem solve your way out of it, because there's becoming homeless and there's remaining homeless. The overwhelming majority of folks who become homeless do not remain homeless. Those that do remain homeless usually are for two reasons: severe persistent mental illness and substance use disorder. Zero judgment on those issues. The reason I'm bringing it up is because we got to talk about the reality in order to get the resources, and that is the reality. Because of that, encampments are never the first stop on the journey. They're often the last stop. So these folks have been navigating the system for years, some decades. So that brings us to the other side. Well, then they must be choosing homelessness. They would rather be homeless. And that's only partly true, but it's mostly wrong. They're not choosing homelessness in the face of all available options. They're not choosing homelessness in a vacuum. They're choosing homelessness in the face of the current options available to them. When a system fails, people create their own. So the system that they've decided to create is an encampment to themselves or with a community. What this means is, given the right set of circumstances, they will not choose homelessness. In fact, 90% of folks who are living outside, 90%, would choose services so long as the end result led to permanent housing, as long as there was an option for permanent housing along that path. So if 9 out of 10 would choose it, what you're really saying is, my system isn't meeting the needs of the folks that are in here. So please keep that in mind when you see an encampment this year.
Y'all doing it really? Why did y'all choose to live like that? It gets tiring, bro, going to work every single day and giving your whole day to somebody else. You ain't got no time to do nothing you want to do. Tired of paying bills, bro.
And the Matrix sucks. You want to keep living in the Matrix, pretending to be somebody, pretending to be something that we not, want to live off, want to be inspired by these celebrities. They don't got shit for real to offer.
Exactly, the
Half
Matrix.
these niggas are spiritually dead. You don't want to realize that, because a lot of niggas realize till too late.
That's a fact. It's best to live off the grid, bro. Focus on yourself. It's hard to focus on yourself.
When you worried about bills,
Worrying about bills every day. How you gonna pay this? How you gonna pay that?
worried about being seen, having a nice car, having every pair of shoes that come out.
It's a fact. Y'all listen to the goddess, man. Y'all listen to the goddess. She not lying. That stuff get old, and after a while, it gets tiring. Get boring.
Too many females out here want to be.
If most women were like her, you already in a better place. Yep. You already know, man. Said, what about the winter? What about winter? There ain't gonna no such thing as winter. Don't get cold out here, bro. Still gonna be eating fruit. Still gonna be eating vegetables. Still gonna be outside in the sun. If it get too cold here, we just gonna go further down south. That's the beauty of van life. You can get up and leave whenever you want to. Just keep going down south. That's really all it come down to. That's the beauty of being able to pick up and leave whenever you want to without having to worry about paying some bills or breaking your lease.
That's a video, guys, so I'm just here to share my true sense, okay, what I think about today's video. So let's define what we mean by choosing to be homeless. This can include people opting for a minimalist or nomadic lifestyle, rejecting societal norms, or pursuing freedom outside traditional structure like rent and mortgage For some, it's a philosophy decision, a liberation against any materialism. For others, it's a survival tactic in system they feel doesn't support them. It's crucial to understand that this choice doesn't look the same for everyone. For instance, some might live in their vans, carve staff, or even camp in public spaces, embracing what they call a mobile life or off the grid living. Okay, so why would someone voluntarily choose homelessness? Here are a few reasons. Financial struggles. Many people feel crushed under the weight of rent, mortgage, and raising cost of living. They realize they can afford these expenses by living out of the van or camping. So there's also desire for freedom. Traditional living often ties people down, joins, jobs, bills, lenses. Some choices homelessness is to keep or to escape this and live a free, more adventure life. So there's also mental health challenges. While some are pushed into homelessness by mental health issue, others feel that the traditional society worsens their mental health. They find peace in solitude or on the open road. There is also rejection of capitalism. There is a growing resentment against consumer culture. Some people feel the system is rigid and want to find alternative ways of living outside traditional structures. So there's also spiritual or philosophical reason. For some, it's a spiritual journey, removing themselves from materialism to focus on personal growth of faith. So the role of society. Now we also need to address the role of society in these decisions. It's really a choice of the system feels rigid. Unaffordable housing. In many cities, rent and home prices are skyrocketing, forcing people to consider extreme alternatives. Lack of support. There are fewer safety nets in place for those struggling, making traditional living unsustainable. There's also stigma, guys. Society often stigmatizes homelessness, but there is a growing movement to destigmatize alternative living arrangements. So this is sustainable, okay? But this lifestyle sustainable. Why some succeed and even thrive, others face image challenges, lack of access to health care, safety concerns, and the absence of stable income can turn the choice into struggle. It's also worthy questioning whether this is true choice of a systemic or symptom of systemic failure. Are we really addressing the root cause or just glamorizing an escape from society norms? Okay, so why are people choosing to be homeless? The answer is complex. For some, it's an act of rebellion, freedom, or survival. For others, it's not a choice at all, but a result of systematic issue like unaffordable housing and lack of support. What do you think? Is this trend a sign of people reclaiming their independence, or it's a wake-up call for society to fix systems? Let me know in the comment section what you think, guys. So a lot of people now, they're moving out from their comfort zone. They're going to live either in the car, or they're living in a camp, or they're living on the street because they can't afford rent. So most of the people, they can't afford to pay rent, to pay water bills, to pay electricity, and also to pay for their house. It's very expensive for them. Okay, so they choose to live either at the camp, or maybe the house which is going to be given by you. I also want to share why are people doing this. Okay, people are doing this because they want to put food on the table. They want to save some money. Okay, yeah, so they feel like when they live in the van, they can be not paying rent, because rent is expensive. For some people, all their salary, this is their rent. Okay, because rent has been changing as of 2024. Now we're going to 2025. The amount of rent they have really changed. Okay, this is one thing I should tell you. So most of the people, they can't afford to do that. This is why they choose to go homelessness. But is this fair? This is not fair. Everyone needs to have enough. Everyone needs to have, they have the right to healthy, they have right to electricity, they have right to food, they have right to go to school. So these are very important things that you need to look out to. Okay, yeah. So guys, I don't know, have you ever been homeless? Okay, yourself, have you ever been homeless before? Because it's kind of crazy living on the street, living in a van. It's kind of stressing because I know they do bath, they have a way of bathing, but as a lady it's really hard, especially if you're working in an environment where there are a lot of men, and all that. It's kind of crazy. mm. But anyway, you have just to choose, because everyone is older and they know what's really best for them. So if you choose to be homeless, we do support you, we do support your content, and you go far. Okay, we are going to support you like that. Yeah, so you have to be just do what you can for you to live good, for you to be back on your feet. And if you have lost everything, don't lose hope. God is there, is watching, and God is going to fight for you. Okay, they're going to fight for you, and you're going to be having back all your things that you've lost. Because some people, they've lost their things, it's not their fault, it's because maybe they were scammed, or maybe they were conned, or anything can happen. Okay, so don't feel very, very, very sad, because one day at one time you'll be sharing your story like this, that I never had a home, I never had where to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, so guys, that's my thoughts about this video. I don't know what you think about today's video. Kindly leave the comments. Okay, leave the comments in the comment section, so that we should discuss about this topic, because these topics are very, very important. Okay, so guys, all I can say for now is thank you for having me here. Bye bye, see you in the next episode.